All right, hello everybody. I am the table, and with me today we got notably not the Death Battle team, but some friends from the Fan Battle cast server. Um, and I am here today to pitch or to present my pitch for Giovanni versus All for One, Pokemon Adventures versus My Hero Academia. Yeah, just to kind of explain what happened. Well, I did do the pitch late last week. I was a dumbass and forgot to record it, so this is an unofficial official pitch recording for this one, I guess. And yeah, if anyone has any questions before we start, or could we just get started?
No, I'm good.
Go for it.
All right.
Let's get it rolling.
Yeah, just keep in mind, don't say anything you don't want any secret supervillains watching this to hear. But starting out with the first of our two contestants, we got Giovanni, the self-proclaimed strongest trainer and the former ground-type gym leader and current leader of Team Rocket. He was born. I don't know if it was born in the Viridian Forest or just born with the power of the Viridian Forest, but either way, he has a very strong connection to Pokemon, especially his starter, a Beedrill that he raised from a Weedle. He is an exceptionally strong trainer, being on par with champions like Lance and Red, and his main goals are to take over the world, make Red the Vader to his Palpatine, and later on to find his long-lost son, Silver. And for his opponent, we have All for One, the Demon Lord of My Hero Academia, a man who was quite literally born evil, who almost took over the entire world thanks to his ability All for One, allowing him to wield and steal countless quirks. He was stopped by All Might, and now his goals are to retake over the world and destroy Hero Society, and to reunite with his little brother by stealing his soul/quirk from Deku, the current wielder of One for All. Now, going over, I think, two of the main questions I want to answer for this fight. The first one, why this one in particular? Connections-wise, I think it's pretty simple and concise. They're both evil crime lords who want to take over the world. Both have built their supervillain organizations through power and charisma, and both like to create bio-organic monstrosities like the Nomu, Mewtwo, Shigaraki, and in the manga, Team Rocket is very much experimenting on Pokemon to make them more violent, so I think they mesh well there. Though they do contrast in the fact that Giovanni has more of a soft spot for his son, and in general cares more about his lackeys compared to All for One, who is far more selfish, even with his love for his younger brother and his power. But the most important thing connecting these two, those snazzy suits.
They do got that shit on.
Yeah.
I do want them outfits.
Now for the second question that I want to answer for this one. Why Adventures Giovanni specifically? One thing, Adventures is just kind of a wild series. It's actually one of the oldest pieces of Pokemon media out there. It started around the same time as the anime did, and in general, it's a lot more shonen in tone, so I think it kind of meshes well tone-wise with My Hero. In general, Team Rocket and all of the evil teams in Adventures are just way more villainous. They will attack you with their Pokemon. They will fight to kill. So, yeah, in general, I just think that if you were to compare like the anime or the games versus the manga, I think the manga is the one that meshes which meshes well the most for their universes.
Hmm.
And speaking of adventures, it's something that's never been explored on Death Battle before, at least not like in depth. I think the only reference we really had was Mewtwo getting his spoon in Mewtwo versus Shadow, so I think it helped it kind of stand out a bit from other Death Battle Pokemon fights. And while you do still get all of Giovanni's regular backstory, Adventures kind of expands on his backstory and his relationships with his team and his son. So basically, you get to cover all the stuff you would cover from like regular Giovanni while also expanding on it. And I think that would just be interesting for people to check out. And I would also say it's probably the closest in stats for this fight, especially compared to stuff like Rainbow Rocket or Pokemon Go, where Giovanni basically gets like every legendary ever. Yeah. And also, it would be very funny to have a segment where Wiz and Boomstick are reacting to some of the crazier moments from the manga.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like how I can't tell which. I mean, I can kind of assume which one, but I'm curious which one got that reaction from you.
The Arbok are getting split in half.
I would have thought it was Zania, but yeah, the Arbok's pretty out there. Though that
Oh,
Arbok does
I didn't
survive.
even see the one getting impaled.
The multi-crucifixion is also noteworthy.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. Adventures is it's not quite as dark as I think a lot of people try to sell it as, but it's still darker than like most other Pokemon media in terms of how they go with the violence. Now going into the fight dynamic, starting out with kind of the one-on-one of just Giovanni and All for One. One thing I think that All for One brings in here that helps him a lot is that compared to other summoner versus non-summoner fights for Pokemon matchups, All for One having the Nomu means he kind of avoids that issue. So early on, you have him kind of using his Nomu at like their Pokemon almost. So yeah, and then you go into All for One himself fighting, and even when it's him versus the Pokemon, I think All for One's hundreds of quirks kind of make him a one-man Pokemon team. So I kind of see this first part of the fight being All for One trying to go through all of his quirks, figuring out what stuff works against which Pokemon, trying to take them out one by one to get to the squishy Giovanni center to get his victory. But of course, we can't talk about Giovanni without talking about his most powerful Pokemon, Deoxys. Yeah, in the manga, Giovanni never has control over Mewtwo. Like, ever.
huh.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, Mewtwo is more often than not fighting alongside Red or early on with Blaine, who is the one who helps him escape. But yeah, he's not lacking for a legendary thanks to the Fire Red and Leaf Green arc where he got control over Deoxys. With incredible strength, speed, and psychic ability, and a very potent healing factor, it is actually considered to be about on par with Mewtwo in battle, so yeah, he's not really losing too much by not getting the OG legendary. But let's say you don't think that's enough. Let's talk about Zapmol Kuno.
What the fuck is that?
This is a manga original fusion created by the power of Team Rocket's Gym Badge amplifier. This is something from the first generation of games, I think even like just Red, Blue, and I think Yellow, where the Gym Badges would increase the stats of Pokemon as you get more of them. So the manga translated that as, oh, the Gym Badges have secret powers, and yeah, once you get all of them together, Team Rocket was able to fuse the 3 legendary birds into 1 super legendary. It shows up for like 2 chapters, but it's really cool and would be really cool to see it in a fight. That's pretty much all you can really say about it. Other than that, it's probably scales to other legendaries, but yeah. So now that we've gone over what kind of each of them bring on their own, let's talk about what the army dynamic brings to this fight.
Ooh.
Starting out with Team Rocket, while Giovanni does have his executives from the games, I think the real stars of this matchup are the gym leaders that he has convinced to be on his side, those being Sabrina, Koga, and Lieutenant Surge. These guys are probably the strongest members below Giovanni, and notably, they fight with their Pokemon. So you see Surge here, who has his Electrode Bazooka and his Magnemite on his shoulders that give him the ability to fly around on electromagnetic shields and create prisons to trap people. Then you got Koga, who has a suit made of living poison types that give him a lot of different stuff. His Ekans is kind of like a grappling hook. His Golbat gives him reconnaissance abilities, and his Muck is kind of a 2-in-1 armor and attacker. And then there's Sabrina. Sabrina has psychic powers. That's pretty much it. She's probably the closest in terms of like what she usually has in the games or anime, but yeah, now she's actively trying to use them to kill people. So yeah, she's got precog, she's got telekinesis, all that good psychic stuff in addition to her Pokemon.
Hmm.
And while this next group isn't quite as important, I do want to bring up the manga original Three Beasts. Technically speaking, two of these guys probably wouldn't want to fight with Giovanni. They do betray him later on. But I do want to go over Orm, the big guy here, real quick, just because he is kind of the dark horse of the fight in that he's the only one that didn't betray Team Rocket, and his demonic fucking jump fluff, which spreads not just like it spreads spore in a massive AoE, but doesn't just spread sleep. It spreads sleep, paralysis, and poison in a massive AoE. So
Jesus.
yeah,
God.
yeah, Orm is kind of like I said, Orm's kind of a dark horse here. And yeah, his Shuckle is also just immune to fire. His Shuckle army, I should say. As for what the League brings in here, we have some very cool art by Rockstar Pyro from the Death Battle Matchups subreddits.
Nice.
Who I very much appreciate for making all this cool art. So obviously, if you bring in like the Meta Liberation Army, there's definitely a big size advantage here. You can kind of have most of them and the Grunts kind of fighting in the background in the sense kind of like which matchup? Sigma versus Ultron. But the ones who I think match up the most into the Rocket mainstays are definitely the main League of Villains members. Some rivalries we've come up with, either me or other people in the community, are Koga versus Kuroguri, where you have ninja skills versus portals, where they're like teleporting all over the battlefield, trying to take each other out. Sabrina versus Toga, where you have Sabrina trying to keep track of Toga through all her shapeshifting powers with her psychic powers. But Toga's general personality is serving as a distraction to Sabrina because, no joke, in the manga, Sabrina is legitimately weak to being rage baited.
Ha!
And then you got Lieutenant Surge versus Mr. Compress, where, and this is kind of one of the things I like about the army fight, where I feel like a lot of the characters who may not have like a big matchup on their own get to have their moment to do some cool stuff in here, because Mr. Compress is actually pretty important here with his marbles being able to like catch Pokemon or take out other trainers. So yeah, it gives him a moment, and with his attacks being very explosion based, I think Surge kind of matches up well to him. So yeah. And then for some other League members, what they can do twice is pretty dangerous, especially if he can clone Pokemon or if he can clone Sabrina. And I really like the idea of Gigantomachia getting into a big kaiju fight with Zapmol and then maybe Dobby can also get in there, and then it becomes like a Weather Wars kaiju fight. And as for kind of where the leaders are for the fight dynamic, I see it as both are cold and calculating, but Giovanni is generally trying to keep more people alive, compared to All for One, who's kind of playing the chess master, trying to make this work in a way where he can take out Giovanni's stronger guys, again, to get to Giovanni himself. And one last thing in terms of like army stuff. While Silver probably shouldn't be in here since he's not really a Team Rocket member, I do kind of just like the idea of him being there just so Giovanni can reference his coolest moment from the manga where he saves him. It's literally just a, man, it'd be cool to have a Bowsegg moment kind of moment. It's the most fanficky thing here, but I think it's neat. And finally, going to the in terms of where I think who I think ends up winning this fight. While All for One definitely has a lot of things that could get him the win, he has deadlier techniques, he's got big army, and radio waves and Surge could debilitate Deoxys or Zapmol since they have mechanisms that kind of help keep them together. Overall, I think Giovanni ends up winning because he's a better commander, and his psychic types are just really, really strong and really fast, to the point that I think Deoxys would be too overwhelming a presence for All for One to get past. And yeah, that is the end of my presentation. And yeah, any questions?
No.
Questions or
Not-
comments?
Not
Absolute
really.
cinema. Though I got a feeling
how
that
about
someone's
John
gonna question
Cena?
some of these thumbnails.
Is that Jackson a maid costume?
Yeah, that's an official Art of Jackson made costume.
Oh my god.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah,
No, it doesn't.
It's
yeah,
a
that
Bruce
one
Lee.
there is that's the hoodie dude thumbnail. Yeah. Yeah,
Definitely
that
one
one
of the
was
best.
just him trying to think up of stuff to pitch, and that was just, I hate Jax, so let's throw Jax against Arceus, and I thought was really funny.
Based.
Wow.
Yeah, all in all, it's just a really good contender for the next Pokemon matchup, especially one that you can kind of similar to Ash Yugi, where you can just throw everything in the fight at once.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is also a pretty good option for All for One.
Well, thank you.
It's probably
Is
his
it-
best option, in my opinion.
Yeah,
It's really
probably
just
like
it's this versus the guy from Mob Psycho, honestly.
True.
Yeah. From what I've seen, Toichiro does work for him. I just haven't gone through all Mob Psycho yet, so
I think 3G is good for a solo fight. Well, this one's definitely better to incorporate the actual like groups as a whole. So yeah, this
Yeah.
one definitely wins, in my opinion.
awesome.
I love the idea of like All for One trying to like get information on the Team Rocket, and so he's kidnapped Silver in hopes like, oh yeah, he's a son. Clearly, he's gonna know something, and that's how the fight starts.
Ooh,
That's
that's
a great way.
like
to
the like the
That'd be
door,
good.
like the wall just blasts open, and like in come in a bunch of Team Rocket goons ready to fight, and Giovanni is just in no mood to negotiate.
you
yeah.
kidnapped my son. I'm gonna beat your ass.
Yeah, the Death Battle Father's Day special.
Oh boy!
Yeah.
One's a better dad than the other.
Yeah. Yeah, in general in Death Battle, when you make a dad mad, they get the dad boost.
To be fair, Red, All for One does not exactly set a high bar.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. Presentation.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad I can actually get this out there now.
Yeah.